Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the PandaCast. We're just a bunch of nerds that like to talk about life, video games, and whether you'd rather have finger-sized nipples or nipple-sized fingers. Tonight, Phoenix is going to be joining me, so let's get to it.
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I feel it a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and I feel the top of my lungs. Nerds! 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 What's going on?
So let's get started. Let me just unmute Mr. Phoenix here. What's going on?
Good evening.
Can everybody let me see?
Just like normal, anytime I'm trying to do something on the internet that requires money and doesn't get fucking, I don't get messages literally all day for anything at all. As soon as my microphone turns on, I'm like, son of a bitch, get out of here.
I feel that, man.
God damn it.
Yeah, dude.
Holy
That's
cheeseburger
usually how it
cheese
goes,
or
man.
Howie as well. I have a few moniker names things going on. Bit of an identity crisis, I say. I don't know.
And you know what I did? You know what? I totally forgot to play the intro music. It'll play the intro music now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Here we go. We got
Play
intro
it
music
later.
now. All right.
How
There
you
we
doing,
go.
baby?
There we go. There we
It's been
go.
a while. I've been gone. I've been
All right.
busy. I was attempting to try and do this every week, but that turned out to, not happen at all.
Yeah, dude. You know what?
because-
I know you got stuff going on with
work
work,
and
man.
nonsense.
I know you got stuff going on with work. 1 second.
Well, yeah, because everybody died around me apparently,
dude.
and I was
So
the
what do you
only
do
one
for
left to
work?
Do
What do you-
anything?
are you working in a restaurant,
Work in a
or-
restaurant. Yeah, I work in
Okay.
a restaurant in addition to doing all this streaming stuff and trying to get my production stuff back in line as well. But yeah, work in a very small restaurant, so when you only have like a staff of 6 people, if any 2 of them go down or go missing for any serious amount of time, somebody's gonna have to do all the work, and that was
That was this guy.
this guy.
That was this guy. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
And then we had a big catering party on Saturday, and then yeah, I don't know. I've been doing a bunch of the work for there because I cook and I wait tables out there too.
Oh,
Do
okay.
part research,
What kind
yeah.
of restaurant is it you work at?
We do barbecue and catering and competition stuff. So
Okay, cool,
pizza,
cool.
wings, barbecue. And
I
shit
love
like that.
barbecue, man. Dude, like
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
such a barbecue snob, bro. Like
Mhm.
I you know how I judge a barbecue place, bro? It's like everyone thinks it's like ribs are a good indicator, but it's the pulled pork, bro.
Our ribs and pork are the 2 best things that we do.
Yeah, the pulled pork is like and the burn-ins and burn-ins.
Focus
If they
Smokers at
got
Brookside Tavern. If you're ever in New York, there you go.
what's the name of the place?
Focus Smokers in Brookside Tavern. Anytime
Focus
you're
Smoke-
in the
okay, I'll-
North Rockland area.
I'll have to check it out. I'm not often up that far north, but I'll
hey.
definitely.
Yeah, we're out of the way.
So,
we say we're sort of near New York City, but we're like 45 minutes. To an
Yeah,
hour
yeah.
away.
Well, you know it's so
Depending
funny.
on the-
People have never been to New York. They think all of New York is like New York City, and it's like
Oh yeah, I've been flying back from Germany, and I forgot what it was. It was we had just done some exercise with the EU or something like that, and it was really just 2 weeks of me partying in Germany on the army's dime. But we came back and we heard people. It's like, oh, we can go up to Niagara Falls and then we'll see the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, wait, when are you trying to do those things?
yeah. Do you realize how far
In the
away those
same
two things
day?
are?
You can't do that in the same day. And they're like,
Yeah.
what? Because in Europe, everything
It's
is
so close. Yeah,
Like you can travel some countries in a few hours.
yeah, yeah.
So they assumed like, oh yeah, we'll be able to do that in an afternoon. Like, no, you have a 7-hour drive ahead of you, madam.
Yeah, exactly,
You
exactly.
have a
Well, you know
very long way to go.
what's really funny, man, is that people don't really, people who've never been down to Florida as well. They don't realize how huge this state is.
Oh yeah, it's a giant dong. Just sitting
Dude,
out there in the ocean.
it's to drive from one. So if you're all the way like in Miami to drive to the Panhandle, it's a good like 12-hour drive. something like that. Like it's pretty
Texas
insane.
too. East to west Texas is shoot yourself in the face.
Yeah.
Somebody may do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. You piss off the wrong redneck, he's gonna fucking cap. Yeah, exactly. He's gonna fucking cap your ass.
And then again, in some areas, use those same epithets that might get you shot. May get you a love, nice big hug from somebody.
Yeah. Well, you know,
a weird fucking place.
Well, you know what they say about Texas, man. There's only steers and queers there, so.
Man, there you go. And you ain't no steers.
I don't see no horns on you, boy. But so did you see this? So I don't know how much of an ARPG guy you are, but did you see Wolson? ARPG.
No, I heard about that one on. I watched the Spiffing Brit, and he breaks games. So within like 3 days of the game being out, it's like, everybody, I'm sorry, this game's pretty good.
Yeah.
But oh my god, does it have so many exploits that we can take advantage of?
Oh, absolutely.
Right
Well, the thing was, and this is so. Here's what the controversy is. I don't know if you've heard too much about it, but the controversy is so for the most part,
some of the trailer video of that game, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's essentially it's like a Diablo 3 Path of Exile kind of type game. It's an ARPG. The thing, first of all, it looks beautiful. Like the graphics are amazing. The gameplay seems to be okay. But the thing that kind of amazed a lot of people and kind of had people scratching their heads was the game just kind of came out of nowhere. It was right? They literally they released and all of a sudden they had like over 100,000 players. And so
how do you spell that thing? I'm trying to find video for the
it's WOLCEN, Wolson.
There we go.
But so the controversy is that what they think, and no one's really confirmed this or not, but they think that the studio, because what the studio did, they had a really interesting marketing campaign. What they did is they paid influencers to basically play their game and put out YouTube content, like big ARPG players. And so they put out, for the most part, positive reviews. And so everybody thinks they put out these reviews, drove the sales, and the game wasn't really finished. And so I did a little bit of digging, and apparently the game has been in early access for like 4 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then
they only have like 13 people in the studio, from what I understand.
Yeah,
so
it's not a very big studio.
I can give them a lot of slack because there's 12, 13 people in the company. Because it seems like it's a pretty solid game, but they don't have like an EA level talent squad or just the sheer amount of people to fix some of the shit that came out wrong with it.
Oh, absolutely, and it's one of those things where it's like the game looks decent.
Really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, the graphics look really nice. It looks really nice.
If you like Diablo 4 or Diablo in general, and you want a Diablo style game, it looks pretty fucking dope.
So the thing is though, so where the controversy comes in is that the game from a lot of people. So there's over like 15,000 negative reviews on Steam for this game,
right?
And it's mostly bugs, just things that are broken, things that don't work the way they're supposed to work. You know what I mean? Some things that shouldn't be in a final release of a game, essentially.
Right.
And so
how much was it? Was it like a 30 or 50?
It was $40. $40.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean it's a relative, but also too, they actually raised the price. The price was initially, I think it was $20 or $25, and they jacked the price up for the release. So everybody, the people that are on the early access thought, oh, we're gonna get the full game, and then they were kind of pissed, like, well, what the fuck? This is basically what I've just been playing, and I'm paying more money for it.
Oh, they made the early access people buy it again?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's dirty. See, that's what I don't like, because I'm in an early access right now. It's one of the top 3 games that we play on ours is Hades, and we are absolutely obsessed by it. So if you like that sort of top-down look like this game right here, it may be in your wheelhouse if you like roguelikes, and actually, I'm surprised you're not playing it, to be honest. It's a very
you know what, I thought about it.
It's got all the things that tickle like all your nerd bits.
All my little nerd.
Right, because it's hard. It's not easy. You need to play. I didn't get a completed run done until maybe my 30s in runs. You know what I mean? Like I've done 70 something runs at this point, and I think I've only completed the game, I want to say 10 or 11 times.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, you haven't really completed very much of the game. Like, well, I mean, but it's a roguelike,
Which
though.
is actually which actually is true, because every time I think I'm getting good at that game, I watch somebody else's video and I'm like, what the fuck did he just do?
What did he do?
I
Yeah.
have never seen any of those things in the game at any point in time. Like I've been playing this game for like, I want to say 6 months, 8 months now, and there are aspects of it, like when they didn't have it before, but they've been really just building more and more and more and more and more on top of the game. So the game that I played is now completely unrecognizable from where
Yeah.
it was 6 months ago. They've added new art, new levels, new bosses, new everything. I've spent $15 on this game, and they've given me $60 worth of content.
Hey,
at this
hey,
point.
man, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. That's
And
what you want. You know?
I was making a point in there somewhere, I guess, but they have like it takes you like that many runs to beat it, but like I don't know. I was making some sort of a point, but like the game is very good, but there's other early access titles that you just kind of wonder, like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got see, but that's how good Hades is what I'm saying, guess.
I mean, dude, honestly, the game looks great. I mean, the game looks great. I've wanted, every time I watch you and Jade play it, the game looks fantastic. It looks really good. So, who the fuck's this guy? Hold on, I don't know who this guy is. We're gonna turn that guy off. It went to a new video. But yeah, so that there was that. Also, so I actually, this just happened. This was actually this like literally hours ago, and I'm not a FIFA guy. I don't play FIFA. But
okay, what do they do now?
Well, I guess Kurt 0411. I guess he's like a really big time FIFA streamer. He got banned by EA for literally everything. Like they banned him like from ever compete for life.
Abusive player Kurt 0411 from all its games and services.
Yeah, he was banned from everything. I guess he got banned because he told a player to quote unquote suck my balls, you son of a bitch.
No, that's it.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of his point.
Excuse me, Mr. Garrison. Why don't you take out my balls?
Yeah, I mean the thing.
You get one of those?
The thing is though is that
Wait a second. Did he really get banned for everything because he said suck my balls?
Yeah, I mean the thing was, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back though. Like I think
Well, I need to know what else he said, because he had to have said something way worse than that.
He's just a toxic guy, dude. Like there's another big streamer, I forget what the guy's name is, Castro something. I think he's the #1 FIFA streamer. And I guess like he was doing like a live interview, and this dude just like pulled a fucking Kanye West and like jumped up and interrupted him like during his speech. So
their thing says he's been banned from his entire portfolio. He can't play anything.
Yeah, he's literally not allowed to play anything.
Due to serious and repeated violations. So I need to know a little bit more backstory on this dude. He says he didn't say shit. I've never said anything I shouldn't have. This is just deeper than anyone thinks. They don't want me competing at events because
he's got this whole conspiracy theory.
So he's a cocky little shit.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Talks trash, and they don't want toxicity. Look, if he's saying go kill yourself and fuck your mother, then maybe, then maybe they have something. But if he just said suck it, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I know a company that's made $1 billion over saying "suck it" for about 10 years.
I agree. I agree, and I don't think it's as bad as they definitely made it out to be. But but yeah, that's
hilarious. The fact that that's a headline. He said, "Pack my balls."
Thanks for the host meditated. Those are actually supposed to be muted. So you know what's really stupid about Streamlabs is it doesn't carry. It doesn't actually carry over. So I muted the alerts in the other scene, but it doesn't carry over. It
carries over through all of them.
It doesn't, which is really fucking stupid. Which is really
a little dumb.
Well, no. So I have a Stream Deck, so you can actually there's a button you can hit mute alerts, and it'll turn the turn the alerts off.
Theoretically, that's how it's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to work, but it doesn't do it for all the scenes, which is really dumb.
Exactly.
So I switch scenes, and then it, that's what happens. So sorry about that.
I always have some sort of issue with something like that, because like my whole thing lately has been every piece of tech that I buy or think is going to be this great boon for me or this other thing will just stop working for no apparent fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like I had an 8-month stretch where I bought my computer and I don't think it worked properly for the first 6 to 8 months that I had it, because I bought the first one and the hard drive died, so I had to do a 2-week turnaround to get the whole thing replaced. And then when I got the new one of the RAM sticks didn't work.
Wow.
So I had to ship out.
Go buy your RAM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, and the shitty part about RAM too is you can't just buy one stick. You got to buy them in twos. Right.
So I was short half my RAM for about 6 months.
Oh yeah, and you definitely don't want to be running 2 different types of RAM, because that's a good way to fuck your computer up, dude. Like that'll. Are you all right, dude?
Yeah, I went down the wrong thing.
Yeah, but
first is real.
Yeah, man, that I had something similar happen to me. I actually I randomly had my SSD hard drive just fry out of nowhere. It was brand.
I still don't have one of those.
Oh, dude, bro, it's fucking life changing.
So I hear. I think I have the. Excuse me, the ability to put one in here. I just don't have one.
Oh,
but anyway, you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. No. So I just randomly had it, and I'd only had my PC for like a couple of months. Like it wasn't very long at all, and it just it fried on me. I was like, okay, like
I'm on my second Yeti.
Oh, really? How'd you break your first mic?
Just went.
Really?
Like
Interesting.
It was one of those where I was using it. I have it on this nice little boom.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
$20 on Amazon. Everything I buy so far for like some peripherals outside of my main things have been like, I can get away with doing this for like, oh, what's that? How much does that cost? Oh, it's a ring light with a little clip on it. Yeah, let's use that. And those are like, I've spent $40 on lighting. The most I've spent is like the mic, the camera, and the PC and shit like that. But anyway, it was just sitting on this, just using it like this for, I don't know, I must have been a couple of years. Thank God it was still in warranty. But then the condenser went because it was just going.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's
no matter what I did, and people were saying that there was like when you go through the my troubleshooting is usually all right. It's not that. It's none of these things. No one's talking about it. So I guess my thing is broken. And then I got to figure out how to get a new one. Thank God, Yeti was awesome with their return and exchange policies and everything, though. So that was pretty easy to take care of. Whereas other companies, it took longer than it should have because of some weird shipping thing. But they're like, okay, cool. Nah, here's a new one, and they gave me the new one with a free game that I ended up giving away on stream.
Well, the funny part is too. Well, the lucky knock on wood for me is that this mic. So this is I got a blue snowball, and
they're pretty good,
dude. It's $50. Oh, I paid $40 for it. It's the price has gone up a little bit. I think they're like 60 now. But like,
yeah, they got a new one. What was the new one come out? It's kind of like a hybrid of the Yeti and that one.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. It's got like a push button for all the condensers and stuff in the back. But anyway,
the only thing that sucks about this mic though is that it's unidirectional. Yeah. So it'll pick up. So back here it'll pick up stuff. So sometimes I really have to mess with the noise gate because sometimes if I'm playing music, the mic will pick up the music.
They are relatively sensitive, but it should theoretically only just be coming, like you should only have to be able to talk to the front of it. The nice thing about the Yeti is that it's got you can see it on here, there's 4 different things, so I can use it as a room mic, I can just stick it on the end, use it as a boom, I can and it'll be designed for a
that
number of
acoustic
things. Like right now I'm using it on the Solo. It's a card, I always forget it, but anyway, it's kind of like this U-shaped thing because it's only supposed to pick up like you're talking into something,
which is perfect.
like
that's what you want. Yeah,
exactly. And it sounds great. But then if I've got people here for Smash Night, I do this 2 clicks over, and now I'm using it for the room. So, and then it's got pretty solid audio quality as well.
I know that I don't know if I told you. I think you might have heard, but I started. So the League of Legends Clash tournament came out this week. So that was
Which tournament? I'm sorry.
The League of Legends Clash tournament. So I've actually got it up on the screen here. So it was super fun. We started off.
Which kind of tournament? Oh, it's something you were in.
Yeah. So it's
okay, cool. I thought we were talking about.
It's no
idea.
Oh no, you're good. It's a 5v5 team, and so basically what you do is you create a team, and then basically like you go against another 5-man pre-made, and they're games of 3. There's 3 games and a set, and depending on how well you do, you get prizes based off of your winnings. And the cool thing is if you do really well, like if you win. So it's single elimination. So if you lose a game, you're out. You go to the losers bracket, but you can still win prizes in the loser bracket. If you win all 3 of your games, you move up in a bracket. And if you keep winning, there's like a finale. I forget when the finale is. I think it's at the end of the month or maybe the end of next month. But basically the way it works is that anybody, no matter the level, can compete. So potentially, if you do well enough, you could be competing against like pro players essentially,
right?
And so which was never really an option before. Like if you were not at that level, you would never
it's
even.
It's a nice way to bridge the gap between pro and casual.
Exactly.
Make that jump if you've got a team or you want to try and even like people that maybe have a little extra money and they have their own like org. It's a nice way for those independent orgs to maybe get into
exactly
lower pro level team.
Exactly. Well, they don't have all the money to invest in like these huge players, but they have a good player base. They could come into this and go fucking kill it. And now all of a sudden, they're getting sponsorships. So
it's a nice kind of removes a barrier to entry.
Exactly.
Sure,
exactly.
Which to a lot of places, I think is usually the struggle to find their player and fan base and stuff like that.
Oh, for esports is huge.
I can't do that. It's tough.
It's super hard, dude. And if you're not, you have to be really good. Like if you're not at a spot where you can get into that level. But like the cool thing about this is that like so what I really liked about this tournament. So basically the way it works is you have so it started at 8:00, and then when the tournament started, you have what was called a scouting phase. And so basically what you could do is 15 minutes before the match starts, you get to scout out the enemy team and see, and they get to do the same thing to you. You can.
How do you mean?
You get to see their most played champions, their masteries on their champion, and so you can basically.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were able to scout. Like it's not like you really can do a whole lot of watching of anything.
Well, no, you can't watch anything, but you can see what champions they're good with, and you can ban those champions. So if you have, if they've got like a one-trick pony,
you could you're allowed to see who they play the most as.
Exactly. So if they're like a one-trick pony, then they're only really really good with one champion. You ban it, like you might fuck them, like you might screw that lane up, and so now they got to play a champion they're not comfortable. Right. And so I thought that was kind of cool. That was a cool little different element to it. So
that could be a massive advantage for some people.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things where it's on both sides too. Like and
good teams will absolutely exploit that.
Oh, absolutely. And also too, what's frustrating for us because our team was we had to put together kind of last second, and so one of our players is relatively new to the game, and he is not very. So if they wanted to, if they saw, luckily I haven't seen anybody do this yet, but like. Usually they try to take out like the high player. So like what happens like Sin and Chat said they targeted so he was our highest ranked person on our team. They targeted all of his champions. They banned every champion he played.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And so
it's like, oh, this guy wrecks house all the time with every so whatever his top 3 characters, just get rid of.
Just fucking get rid of it. Exactly. And that's literally what happened to him. But luckily he's got a bunch of characters he can play, so he was able to roll with it. But
that's just smart, baby.
Yeah. But an interesting other tactic could have been is just to target the weaker player, right? So if you see somebody only plays like 2 characters, you ban both of those characters. You might that character.
And then you start feeding on that guy.
Yeah, they might not be able even to fucking play the game. We might want to look into that, Sam.
You pretty much remove a guy from the game, and you can
fucking prey on the weak.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, why wouldn't you do that?
Devour their bodies.
I kind of like that pick ban thing. It's like there's certain other games that I kind of almost would wish they had an option to do that. I think Overwatch could benefit from something like that, especially with them getting so many characters in the game now. It especially works when you have a larger character base to work with. So, like, well, how many legends are there in League of Legends? Like a 730.
Oh,
Like
there's so many.
Some stupid.
Yeah.
There's some stupid number of.
Well, I mean, the game's been out for like what?
Right.
What? How many years now? 12 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and they keep adding new champions. So I mean, so there was a time when like, so I played a lot. Like I'd say probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Then I stopped playing. I just recently came back to the game, and there are so many more champions now, and just that span of time that like I don't even know what half the fucking champions do. like I'm like who is that?
That's the biggest deterrent for me. Is like there's just so much shit here that I don't know. I'm sure I could get into that, but I don't like the click move. I just don't like the game style. I guess it's like, all right, I'm doing this thing. There are minions. Like, all right, I get it. If it's your jam, cool. It's just not my jam.
You know what? I don't know what it is.
You have to spend so much time to get decent at it at this point.
You do. It's a huge time sink.
I don't want to spend that much time playing League of Legends.
Yeah. And that's, and there was another game. There was another game that came out that I thought the concept was really fucking cool. I can't remember what the name of the game was, but it was like
it was a really cool game. I don't remember what the fuck it was. It was really cool, man.
The reason why what was it called? It was like I think it was called like Evolution. I think is what it was called.
Yeah, I know which one. That it was like the 4-on-1 monster game. Yeah, I think you're right.
What was it? It was like you had the Marines and you had the aliens, right?
Yeah, it's Evolve.
Evolve. Yeah. So
it's
the thing,
but then it sucked when it actually was in practice.
Exactly. But the thing I liked about that game though was that it had a really cool concept, but the fucking learning curve was like so steep, bro. Like you'd play against people that would smoke you.
Right.
You know?
The other games that have ended up doing that better is Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th. I don't know whether it was a concept issue or an execution or exactly what it was, but it's that 4v1 sort of game type concept just evolved into better games, I guess. Pardon the pun there, but yeah, it's just I remember hearing about it and I'm like, hey, this sounds pretty cool, but there's a reason I don't hear anybody talking about this.
Well, the thing that I thought was really cool about it, Phoenix, though, was that the fact that you had like because it was so like it was funny because I actually had this idea for a game. I was like, yo, like what if you could play StarCraft, but each person, like each unit would be an individual person, and that was a cool like command. Yeah. I was like,
I thought they were going to do it Ghost, and apparently.
Speaking of Ghost, speaking of Ghost, dude. So did you see? Yeah, did you see the game?
Pretty cool.
It looks cool.
It looked pretty cool. I mean, it looked about what I was going to expect for that type of game at that time. I don't know why they got rid of it. I thought it was going to be really popular, but for whatever reason, Blizzard is Blizzard.
Blizzard pulled it here. Let me see. Leaked.
I got you.
I don't know why my alarm's going off. Let's see. Leaked.
I got you.
Third.
Boom.
I had the. Oh, here it is. So it actually looks. It looks cool. It looks very cool. Oh, there's an ad. So this looks like
all my StarCraft. Oh,
what else is this? Is Mulan? What is this?
Oh yeah, it's the new Mulan.
Bro, is it like?
Cool.
Bro, it looks like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but
that's
Mulan.
what they're going for.
All right. so here's the game. These guys.
It looks like a bunch of other games that were kind of similar at the time. Like that.
Hey, let's get to the gameplay. I want to see your. I don't want to see your faces.
Yeah, no, I get use the link I just gave you. Yeah, you're not going to see those guys' faces. Just go to these. Go to the link I gave you.
And so, and apparently, you can actually download the game. Like it's actually available for download.
That I did not hear.
Yeah, it's actually
the loading screen and everything is great. It looks like one of those run and gun sort of what fucking games this was. It looks like Darksiders and a bunch of all these other games that were or Devil May Cry, but it's all absolutely of the time, and it probably would have been pretty cool. It might have also sucked a giant bag of dicks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it would have been a huge stray from what the type of games that Blizzard normally makes. So it could have. You're right. It could have sucked. It could have been terrible. but from the
It
gameplay
looks
we see, it looks
relatively decent. I mean, there's a bunch of other games that kind of looked like this at the time. I thought they were trying to do maybe a first-person thing, but I wouldn't even know how that worked out. This, at least, looks more of what I kind of had. There was a bunch of games at the time that were just like, hey, they're this, or like Ratchet and Clanky sort of, but with a serious vibe to it. And
I mean, this kind of reminds me more of like Left 4 Dead, like Red Dead Redemption, kind of but futuristic,
it's not open world.
Yeah. I mean, just from like the third person shooter kind of deal. I mean, like,
Assassin's Creed, freaking all those stuff. The third, it looks good, man.
Yeah, I mean, I said it, but for whatever reason, they officially canceled the game. Nobody really knows why. You know, I guess apparently they were still working on it for a while, like on the back burner, and then they officially canceled. I think like 2 years ago.
Officially canceled it in like 2013 or something like that.
Yeah, it was recently,
and it was in the ether for like a decade before that or some shit. Don't worry, folks. You'll see it soon on your mobile devices.
Oh God, bro! Yeah, speaking of mobile, bro, they freaking
pick up Blizzard's StarCraft Ghost this week on your mobile device.
Bro, I can't even like. So okay, can you go into that a little bit more, man? Because you mentioned that offline, and I like. What do they like? How are they? So okay,
they had a sales call, and their sales call said that they were just making money hand over fist in the mobile market. They also own subsidiary King. There's Activision Blizzard. When they merged, Activision soon after ended up buying the rights to King, and Activision Blizzard might as well really just be Activision at this point, because that's really who's running the show.
That's who's running the show, exactly.
Blizzard is like their first major subsidiary, and they have all those IPs and stuff like that. But Activision is running the show here. They also picked up King, which you may know from your phones as Candy Crush and all those Saga puzzle games. That's all the same company, and that game makes such a ridiculous amount of money.
I don't understand
that they don't know what to do. I don't get it either. I played Candy Crush for a little while, and then it just got into the why is there this arbitrary thing keeping me from advancing to the next level?
Bro,
and then you realize there's nothing else that's going to come out of this other than some strange arbitrary thing that you have to break down in a certain number of ways that's just intentionally hard to make you spend money.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is all bullshit, and that's why people spend money on it. I know somebody who played through all of the levels.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say that. There's a fucking lady. I read it, bro. It's so funny you say that.
No, there's another chick that I knew. She and then spent money to completely reset everything, and then spent more money on her way to do it again. She did like 4 times.
Fuck?
Like, what are you fucking doing?
Dude,
like, I mean, you must have money to burn, but I don't know, because you're working in this restaurant too. So what the fuck,
bro? There was a I forgot what I was reading at. I think I was reading it on Reddit. The lady was like, he like shared a phone conversation with his mom, or it was like a text conversation, and so his mom like texts him. She's like, hey, Billy. I don't know if his name was Billy. Just throw him down out there. Right, he's like, whatever. Hey, whatever. Hey, I beat Candy Crush. What do I play now? And the son's like, what do you mean you beat Candy Crush? And she's like, I beat it. I beat all the levels. He's like, you beat all the levels? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea that there was a finite amount of levels to that game.
Well, what they do is they just throw hurdles and roadblocks in front of you. So, like, let's say I beat 20 levels really fast. That's like when I get to level 20, I want to get to level 21, right? And they say, oh no, sorry, you can't do that now. You need to ask 17 of your friends to like this thing, and then one of them has to convince their sister-in-law to give you a handy. And then if you pay us $3, you can skip all of that. Just get the next 20 levels. But
that's
you know what
funny.
I mean? It's just some stupid roadblock.
Some arbitrary
just
paywall.
Give me, I'll just let me go through all the levels.
Yeah.
Like, stop making this so weird. But it's just they throw these hurdles. They addict you with this like sort of okay, decent puzzle game. But then when my question for that stuff is, if you take all the roadblocks out of it, is the game decent?
Is it still good enough to
Usually it's
play?
not.
Exactly. So
But-
I had to give a
So
shout
here's
out.
what they did. They own the. Go ahead, shout out.
No, I had to give a shout out to Sin for his amazing comment in chat. So for those of you guys that don't know what he's referencing, don't you guys have phones? So that is
Yeah, I said that already. I thought
that was
I have a weird. I didn't realize the game was going to do this to me, but there's certain ones that I am not allowed to play because it does something fires in my brain in a weird way that makes me obsess over it, and I start trying to. I ended up losing 4 hours once.
that sounds like me when I play League.
But that's at least, there's more happening. You're controlling, you're doing whatever. I mean, there is interaction. There's a lot going on with that game.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem, obviously, with sitting down and playing 4 hours of a game. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's just the game was like Adventure Capitalist or something like that. But all it is just bars filling up on your phone. And then when the bar completes a certain number of times, you can buy more of the thing to make that bar go faster. And then look up Adventure Capitalist. The gimmick is that you're a capitalist and you're buying these businesses, and the more businesses you have, the more money they generate. But then you generate enough money, you can buy a higher tier business and so on and so. But it does this weird thing in my brain where I have to level up all these things, and I have to when can I level up these things now? Let's make me do this in the quickest way possible so I can get this next one. And next thing I know, 4 hours have gone by. And it's this weird, but then they start throwing monetization at it. And if you don't have.
Hold on, you cut out there, Phoenix. You cut out. Can't hear you. Hold on, let me make sure you're not muted. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. Hold on a second. Let me make sure it's not on my end. Make sure it's not on my end. No, yeah, I can't. Can chat? Can you hear him? I can't hear him. Sorry, guys, we're having some technical difficulties. Here, we're gonna pull this game up that Phoenix was talking about. Adventure Capitalist. Yeah, still can't hear you, bro. I don't know if you're talking or not. This is the game he's talking about.
Check there.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, but like, my point was, if I can get addicted in some weird way that I wouldn't expect to be, and then you throw monetization at it to prey on that addictive tendency,
Yeah,
it's really fucking dirty. And they do that with so many things. But what they do is they make a whole ton of money out of it. And so as much as everybody hates on don't you guys have phones? Don't you guys have phones?
yeah,
Makes them $1 billion a year. And at the end of the day, microtransactions, as bad as they are and as bad as we don't want them, people still pay money into it.
they do. They do.
As long as you still pay them money, they are never going to.
Here's the thing with those type of things. And so for those of you guys that don't know the comment, don't you guys have phones? So that reference is to Blizzard was hyping up Diablo 2 remake. And then so at BlizzCon, in front of millions of people, they announced that Diablo, or was it Diablo 1 remaster? I thought it was a Diablo 2 remaster.
It was one of the Diablo.
I'm pretty sure it was 2 VDA.
They announced a mobile game instead of anything regarding their major franchise that everybody was there for. It's hilariously bad.
Yeah, and
you're like, what the fuck are you people doing?
Yeah, and the crowd obviously was very pissed, and the guy's response was, "Don't you have phones?"
And you know what? It's such a shitty answer, but when you look at the black and white numbers at the end of the day, they proved everybody right. Everyone got proved wrong. Like all the people that were bitching and moaning, complaining, people spent millions of dollars on these things. Call of Duty is raking in. I think they just came out with the number of 150 million downloads for Call of Duty Mobile, and even if people don't spend money on the microtransactions in that game, it's an impossible number not to look at.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
just something like if 150 million people are just looking at the options for microtransactions, I'm going to hook at least a small percentage on them. That's just the numbers. They're just going to happen. And sometimes it's way bigger than they imagine, and they end up making $1 billion fucking off the thing.
Well, the crazy
So-
part about microtransactions is it's like a slippery slope, right? So like there was a Penny Arcade joke. I don't know if you guys know Penny Arcade, but if you don't, it's a fucking fantastic a web comic. They're super
We're
funny.
a bunch of nerds. Who doesn't at this point?
Yeah, dude. Well, there's actually surprisingly people that don't know who Penny Arcade is. But yeah,
go on.
so basically, they had this. This is when League first came out, and it was Tycho and Gabe talking about League of Legends. And they're like, oh, like League of Legends, this game came out, and he's like, oh, and Tycho's like, oh, isn't it free to play? And Gabe's like, yeah, it's totally free to play. He's like, how much money have you spent on League of Legends? He's like $8,000.
But that's the thing. There's kind of a right and wrong way to do it, and there's a dirty way of doing it, and then there's a relative. Like, I understand that you've got to make your money, right?
Of course,
I get that. I completely understand that. But when you make a free-to-play game like your League of Legends, like a Realm Royale or a Fortnite even, you don't have to pay that. League of Legends is a little bit more on the, hey, you kind of might want to spend money on this game. But with something like Fortnite, you don't have to spend a red single cent.
Yeah, same with League.
To play any part of that game.
Yeah.
Same with League too, but I would probably, if I really want to play League, I would probably spend the $20, $30 it is to get the unlock for all the characters.
I don't think that exists anymore, does it? Is that a thing?
Does it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Characters or something. I thought if you could pay them a couple of bucks, you could.
No, dude. No, I don't think so.
Because you have to. You do eventually. Like you have to spend like in-game currency or something.
Fuck, if that's a thing, I'm gonna go do that shit right now, bro. Because that's.
But they don't. Do they not have? Are all the characters unlocked now?
No. So the way it works is they kind of did something similar to like what Magic Arena does, and basically what they do is you have two types of currency. You've got and they've actually made it a lot easier. So before you could only get RP, which is riot points. Those are the paid currency. You could only get them from actually paying, but they've made it so where there's ways you can actually get those points. Albeit it's slower and it's not as efficient. But you can actually get skins. You can get characters just by playing the game. You have quests and stuff you do that like it's just play 3 games as this champion. Win 7 games, whatever. And like
so as long as you're doing certain achievements, you will just eventually unlock characters.
You'll get points to be able to buy whatever you want to buy. So if you want to buy,
but it's not like some ridiculous. It's a relatively easy currency to earn.
It depends. So yes and no. So if it's like a brand new,
but I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't. Here's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be against them saying, hey, if you give us $15, you don't got to do any of that. You can use all the characters whenever you want.
Yes,
and I don't think anybody else would have a really big problem with that either.
No, I don't think so either.
You could still, especially if they still give you the option to do exactly what you're doing now.
Yeah, so, for sure.
But even then, but again, it's just a way to make their money. There's a right way and a wrong way. Fortnite, everything's a skin. You don't have to spend money on that game. But then, it's when I spend $60 to buy your full product,
and then there's microtransactions,
and then in that you're now charging me for weapons down the line, or you're putting in battle passes within a month and a half of a game being out. And then trying to make it like, if you can intentionally grindy so it's more difficult just to be more difficult. And it's just like, I've already paid you money.
I don't want to pay you any more money
all the time.
Exactly. So BDA in chat said that no, the only payable aspect are the skins, and they do have a battle pass, quote unquote, but it's specific to a trend of skin. So
that's fair.
So there's
battle passes. I love battle pass.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to pay for the game already, because that's the way you're going to make money this quarter, is that you have to run this event to unlock a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
And I might get more points because I want to unlock something else
Specific,
that's only
exactly.
available in that shop for this month. So I completely get it. It's just that like in the mobile world, it's just so obtrusive and dumb. And I've even been having this conversation with my friend at work because he cycles through a couple of these games all the time like I used to. It's like, let me just find another game to just pass the time and do something.
Yeah.
But he's been spending money on the Two Dots or whatever it is. I'm like, oh, I played that. And then I just realized that, all right, now we're just being I'm just getting obtrusive, difficult roadblocks just to be difficult. There's no extra skill needed. They're just there to make me lose this quarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
for
when
sure.
Street Fighter at the higher levels starts cheating against you to make the game cheese dick and really fucking hard.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
dump a bunch of quarters just to beat M. Bison.
Yeah. So speaking of roadblocks, so Bungie is putting a big old middle finger up to its players. There are going to be some
What do
huge
they do now?
nerfs. Well, they got some huge nerfs coming from Destiny 2. I'm not a Destiny 2 player. I
Well,
know
I
we got a
mean,
couple.
Everything gets nerfed.
Well, I guess there's some like major nerfs coming. Like I guess there's
Well,
some
how do you
weapons.
mean,
And,
like to weapons and stuff?
I think it's
that?
like to weapons and some of the like just the way the classes are working right now. I haven't. The last time I played Destiny, I remember it was when Osiris came out, and there was a fucking weapon that came out. It was like this laser weapon, and it was so OP. It like literally everybody used it in PvP. Like if you went into a PvP match, it was just lasers everywhere, and they had to nerf it to the ground. So there's some major nerfs coming. If anybody's in chat is a Destiny player, you want to share some of those nerfs.
Rebalance. They're just a weapon. They're not that big of a.
I don't know. The article I read was all doom and gloom. It was all like everybody was freaking out and they were upset.
Smaller, yeah, but I mean, every games have. What was it? Widespread changes to other weapon archetypes, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, fusion rifles, auto rifles on the list. Several popular exotic
Snipers in
weapons are
general got
gonna
the
change.
previous. Okay, grenade launchers are getting damage
mean,
buff or nerf rather.
So popular weapons aren't as popular. I mean, or aren't as strong. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
It's nothing new. All games have that to do. I think that's just one of those like they're too in their own bubble sort of situation, and they're making it like it's crazy. Because the Destiny fan base is super rabid, and I completely get it. I was on the bandwagon for a while until they kicked me in the dick one too many times.
What do you mean?
Have you heard my Destiny rant?
No,
can I do
no. Let's hear. Let's go. Let's go. Destiny rant. Let's go.
15 minutes. All right, Destiny 1. Destiny 1, pretty solid game. I enjoyed the hell out of it. They gave me a speeder bike. It's all I ever wanted since I wanted to watch Return of the Jedi, right? All I ever wanted was my own speeder bike to ride around Forest of Endor. Perfect, right? Made me feel like a kid again. The first game was pretty cool, but after I got through it, I'm like, yeah, you guys are right. I understand. There's no content here. I'm just doing the same shit over. But it eventually got really good. And by the time they released, what was it, Taken King off that, I'm like, all right, cool. You guys are doing this other thing. It's pretty much another $60 though. It's like, but it's all right. I'll give you guys the second chance. And Taken King was pretty awesome. They fixed all of the issues that we had in the first game in the initial release of Destiny, and all the stuff that had come out. They made things stronger. The story was cool. The raids were better. Everything just sort of kind of worked together. And then I just stopped playing. So Destiny 2 comes out, right? And at the launch of Destiny 2, I was on board. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm not crazy that they released another game so soon, but that's fine.
Whatever.
Let's give it a shot. And I played the shit out of original D2. And then they just kept it was just one disaster after another for everything. And I bought the season pass for that one. It's the last season pass of anything I will ever buy, because all of the content was garbage after that. Like none of the season pass was any good. It was there was some sequence of it that were obviously cut content from Destiny 1 that showed up as one of the DLCs. They had a giant transaction system built into that game that you'd have to be hard pressed to argue that wasn't just dialed in to try and siphon more money and more money. They had an XP situation where they were throttling players' XP, because as you get to your max level in that game, every time you kind of do that next over level, let's call it, because you don't have a character level to go up for power or anything, but every time you would essentially fill that long experience meter through dailies and all these other things, you would get an engram, which is essentially a loot box in that game that could give you any number of depending on which kind it was, you could get a weapon one, an armor one, or one of these other random ones which could have like skins or other stuff in them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So in order to prevent people from getting those more frequently or regularly by doing things that would earn them experience, they would throttle them after a certain amount of time.
Wow.
So
dirty.
That would then force them towards that loot that store that they had built in the game. And they were doing certain things where they would hard cap you for their seasonal events to make it near impossible to be able to get all of the skins and items that were around for, and the ironically was for the season of giving event, which was at Christmas, which was to promote, unity.
And they were fucking stealing from you.
And they were trying to rob you blind.
Fucking Bungie the fucking Grinch, bro.
Oh my God. And they were constantly making it very difficult and impossible to earn all of these things for the people that were hardcore fans of the game. Now, a lot of the stuff that was playable in there, they were fun to do. Like PvP can be really fun. The raids and runs can be really fun, but you also need to have people that are playing with you as well.
Yeah.
But
I think that was my mistake. I tried to play it myself and it just wasn't very fun. It wasn't very enjoyable.
It got to the point where then they released it was pretty much, I had already been through Destiny 1 and they went through the Taken King and it worked and it was better. But then in Destiny 2, it was a regression in such of ridiculous amounts that it got to their second release, like their Taken King of D2, and they asked me for or Shadowkeep, I think it was, or whatever the newer one. And they asked me for $60 and said, okay, guys, don't worry. We fixed the game now. And I'm like, no,
you didn't.
Fuck you. I'm not doing this
again
every 2.5 years. I have already spent on multiple platforms $60 to $100 each because I had friends that were on other platforms and I had to play this game with other people at a certain point because I had done all I could do literally for my main character on my own, and I was desperately needing people to play, and I enjoyed the game. But then when you start releasing something that in one of their DLCs for D2, there were sequences in the game, if you go like for a deeper, more than cursory look, there are characters that they talk about that in the lore are supposed to be these like elder god type things, like Cthulhu and of like the Lorecraft mythos type elder god type things that will devour the world like they will devour the world in darkness and stuff like that. And then you fought sort of some of their spawn, but they act like you have never seen them before, or you're talking about them in passing when you've never seen any of this stuff. So It should have been something that was tacked onto the end of something else in there. And then the boss fight for it, which is supposed to be one of these elder worm things, is one of the easiest bosses I've ever fought in that game.
Yeah.
And I could have probably soloed it if I tried it 1 or 2 more times.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we fucking doing?
What is this? Supposed to be in-game content and it's easy. Yeah. And so when you get to the point that you're asking me to do the same thing that you did in the first one again, and you're asking me for another $6 of that, fuck it, I'm done. Yeah,
like,
I feel that.
I'm not doing this all the time. And I kind of came back a little bit once they dropped Activision from the thing, which is probably keeping their fan base alive. But I mean, I am just so soured by everything that's happened over that franchise in the last couple of years that are like, I can play other games. And I really like truly that like I want to like Destiny so much because I have had some legitimately really fun times playing that game. But every time I play it, I'm just kind of, it's almost like I'm kind of waiting for somebody to hit me.
Yeah, you're just over it. I totally get that.
Like it was ruined for me, so I can't really get on board with it anymore. So if for those people who really enjoy Destiny, by all means, love Destiny.
Yeah.
But I've just been through. It's like when you get through a shitty breakup with somebody, and like it's somebody that you used to love, or you're divorced with somebody. It's like you used to love that person.
Yeah.
I can barely stand
I used to love her. Oh yeah.
But like you don't want to see them ever again.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be okay if I never played that.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So there's my destiny.
There's your destiny rant. See, it was actually a lot more tame than I expected. I thought it was gonna be.
It was really bad for some times in there. Again, you know, years after the breakup, you sort of calm down.
Kind of calm down, kind of get your shit back together again. Yeah, I totally get that.
There's two very different versions of when I packed up all my shit when my ex-girlfriend was gone for the week, and then she came back to an empty house. There's varying levels of crazy to that story depending on when you've met me in my life.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's a long one. We'll save that for next week.
I haven't heard this one, so I'm excited, bro. I'm excited to hear this one, dude.
Oh yeah, it's a long one, sir.
But
I don't think we have time. We're getting at the hour.
Yeah, we're getting close. Well, we actually started a little bit later, so I'll leave it up to you guys. You do.
Well, how much time? What time are we on? We're like 45 then. We got another 15.
Yeah, I got another 10, 15 more minutes. I mean, or we can call it. I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to keep going, we can keep going.
You want to play the outro? You play the outro, Sam. I'm good to go.
You know, I think this is a good. I think it's a good place to stop. I think it's a good place to stop. Let me make sure my thing is actually working here. Hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure. Is this actually working? My outro here. Hold on. It's supposed to be.
How much time do I got to plug? Give me a time. I'll hit
one
the
second. Hold on. Let me make sure this is actually working. Hold on.
Where's Homer to boo you?
There it is. Okay. All right. So yeah. So Phoenix, let me turn this down just a little bit.
On all forms of social media, catch us on Instagram and Twitter. We play all of our games over on twitch.tv/the WHPC. We've got mugs out now if you guys want to check those out. Get a little cheeseburger Jesus into your life. And we're usually streaming on, we'll be streaming right after this. I think I might get into some Hades tonight, but we usually get into some Hades, Call of Duty, and various amounts of other things. I think that's all my points.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Phoenix. It was super fun, guys. Once again, this was the episode 3 of the PandaCast. My name is Grom. I am the host of the PandaCast. We talk about video games. We bullshit about life and just random shit.
That's what we just did.
Yeah. So you can find me on Twitch
at next week.
Yes, yeah, we'll be here next week, guys. So you can find me at twitch.tv/Grom. You can find me on YouTube at Grom, Twitter at Grom1. TikTok at Grom, and Facebook at Grom1, and Instagram as well.
You're a grown man, sir.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much, guys. We will see you. If you guys want to hang out and chat, we're gonna be playing some games. Probably gonna be doing some league. So, see you guys, and we'll see you next week. Later, everybody.
Bye, everybody.